Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Rechak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And I wanted to go into this lesson. I was reading through this article here, which I found pretty interesting, as we have been discussing how quickly AI has been permeating throughout pretty much the world and current systems. And so now with this body, right, the body of the FDA, now saying that they're going to deploy artificial intelligence across the agency, people have their opinions about the FDA already as it is, and their decision making, but now having the use of AI influencing it in some way, shape, or form. Most of the other companies that adopt AI, it's really for the same reason as they claim, which is to speed up like efficiency, and have them be able to move faster. But you can already start to see where this is going. Right? This is how you end up in a situation where there's just like giant system, that is sort of like calling the shots on everything, because it has accumulated enough data to be able to make what people esteem as more informed decisions that no longer are, say, like it starts off with humans being the drivers and AI being given suggestions and X, Y, and Z, but eventually those tables turn, right? And then it turns into a situation where it's more like AI is the one calling the shots, right? And the humans are more so just following it. And that also goes into like all those years and decades of conditioning the people to sort of make everything convenient, right? So people don't want to work for anything anymore. And so they're willing to say, hey, well, if I can just have AI do it, why should I do it? All right. Anyway, let me read through this real quick. It says here, the Food and Drug Administration, or FDA, is planning to roll out artificial intelligence across the agency following a successful pilot program. And if it goes out through here, then, it won't be far-fetched as it goes throughout the different various systems to where, different processes that you wouldn't even expect would already be using it if they aren't using it already. FDA Commissioner Dr. Marty Makary has directed all FDA centers to immediately start using AI and fully integrate it by the end of June, which is moving very quick. The FDA said in a May 8 statement, by June 30, all centers will use what the agency described as a quote-unquote common, secure, generative AI system integrated with FDA's internal data platforms. I was blown away by the success of our first AI-assisted scientific review pilot, Makary said in a statement. We need to value our scientists' time and reduce the amount of non-productive, busy work that has historically consumed much of the review process. The agency-wide deployment of these capabilities holds tremendous promise in accelerating the review time for new therapies. See? So, in other words, like, by leveraging AI, we can cut down how long it takes to, like, fully review a new drug or a new therapy, as they call it. So now the norm is no longer 10 years of investigating and testing and doing all this, because we can speed up the research. We can speed up the looking into whatever this thing, speed up the process of that and move quick. All right. So definitely, especially with systems like healthcare systems, right? Even courts. Don't be surprised if you start having AI leverage in court systems. Easy to gather evidence. Soon you might have AI lawyers, and then AI judges, right? Forget human juries. They just might use an AI and say it'll be less biased because it can just go based off of the information. Anyway, um, the point goes also beyond just what we're reading here, but what kind of precedent that sets, like what kind of door does it open for the rest of different agencies or bodies of authority to now leverage AI, and we know where that ultimately leads to. Um, it says AI refers to computer systems that can carry out complex tasks typically performed by humans. AI can be generally described as a branch of computer science, statistics, and engineering that uses algorithms or models to perform tasks and exhibit behaviors such as learning, making decisions, and making predictions, FDA officials said in 2023. So, making decisions and making predictions and learning, what do you think that's for? You think that's just, oh, well, now that I know the AI can do this, well, good to know. Let's go back to our old raggedy system. No. And this also pushes that whole concept of the universal basic income, because as more and more jobs and corporations shift toward this, this use of technology to where you don't have to pay AI, you don't have to, worry about what do they call those, like the OSHA or these union, or these like workplace things that you have to sort of go along with in order to make sure that your employees are in a fair, equitable working environment. You don't got to do that with AI. And soon, as more companies start to go that route, then that also eliminates the need for like HR, or the reduction of the HR workforce, because that's for human resources. All right. And if most of your staff are, artificial intelligence or robots, there's no need for human resources. It says McCary said on Thursday that past years have featured discussions on utilizing AI and that it's time to start using it to save time, with some tasks that once took days now taking mere minutes. And this is the appeal, to say it can do it better and faster with more information. And so, here it is, you're spending months reading through papers, you can make human errors and all that. This is the appeal of, hey, just throw that data in there, let the AI crunch through it and give you an output in minutes, seconds. We at the FDA now have to ask big questions that we've never asked before. Why does it take over 10 years for a new drug to come to market? Why are we not modernized with AI and other things? We've just completed our first AI-assisted scientific review for a product, and that's just the beginning, he said earlier in this week on social media platform X. So if the FDA is doing it, what's stopping the healthcare sector from doing it, which they already are. They're leveraging it in certain systems, but as he said, it's just the beginning. Okay, so as time goes on, and this moves quick. He said what, by the end of June? That's very quick. Okay, so it starts with integration, and then it may be 70% human, 30% AI, then eventually 50-50, then eventually the roles start to flip over there. The rollout across the FDA is being coordinated by Jeremy Walsh, Booz Allen Hamilton's former chief technologist, who was recently appointed as the agency's chief AI officer, and Sridhar Mantha, who previously led the Office of Business Informatics at the FDA's Center for Drug Evaluation and Research. President Donald Trump has encouraged agencies to adopt wider use of AI, including through an executive order that said it is U.S. policy to sustain and enhance America's global AI dominance in order to promote human flourishing, economic competitiveness, and national security. So just be ready to start seeing it more and more, and it's going to be very fast. A lot of for a lot of people, it's gonna seem like, yo, this came out of nowhere. But it's been in the workings, but it's developing very, very quickly. Okay. So I'm gonna read this last portion here, right, which mentions it. It says the FDA had previously expressed concern that AI contains bias that may worsen inequalities in healthcare delivery, while also saying AI could speed up review of drug applications to bring quicker timelines for making drugs available to patients. So now, if they come out with a decision and they say, well, this is based on AI and facts, right? And you're like, well, I don't want to. And they're like, why? And you're like, I just don't, I just have a bad feeling about it. Now they're going to say, well, do we take your feelings over the facts that have been brought out based on this data that we supplied? So they're getting right down to it, right? As it says in Revelation 12:12 about the devil coming down with great wrath because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. So they're moving very quickly. All right, they're prioritizing this and moving it to the forefront. Now, this is the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 14. It says, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth, just getting straight to the point, by means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast. And we're just seeing, examples of that, but it's going to intensify as they advance technology more and more. Saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had a wound by a sword and did live. And so that image, that system that they have instituted and they're building upon, it's eventually going to get to a point where it's like a super system that you as an individual can't go around. Okay, and by leveraging artificial intelligence, they can make it more robust, non-emotional, less prone to human error, and more ruthless in its tracking, right, and its analysis and all of those. So hey, just another step closer to prophecy as we measure the times diligently, and we see this takeoff of artificial intelligence. Don't be surprised as it gets merged and integrated across more and more sectors, to the point where now it's literally like living right next to you, well, up until it's now living within your body as well. So with that, I'm going to end it here. Lord willing, you are edified and informed. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Rachak Wadash. Until next time, Shalom.